Back in November, former Trump advisor Roger Stone was convicted of several charges related to the now officially discredited Russia investigation. Prosecutors claimed that Stone lied about communicating with a former stand-up comedian called Randy Credico, a man whose role in the story was so minor that it's already been lost to history. For this offense, prosecutors say Stone, who is 67 years old and has no criminal record, must spend up to 9 years in prison. Now, for perspective on that sentence, the typical rapist in this country spends 4 years in prison. Armed robbers, 3 years. Thugs who commit violent assault, less than a year and a half. But Roger Stone must do 9 years until he is 76 years old for lying. Now, there's some irony here. So-called criminal justice reform is fashionable in Washington right now. An awful lot of sex offenders and drug dealers and other predators, serious predators, have been released early from prison lately. It's compassionate, they're telling us. Yet somehow, nobody in D.C. believes that compassion ought to extend to Roger Stone, who's guilty of nonviolent, essentially political offenses. Notice the opposite. The usual moralizers seem gleeful at the thought that Stone will die in a cell. CNN has been especially ghoulish on the subject. You'll remember that prosecutors tipped off Jeff Zucker's network last year so they could have cameras in place when dozens of federal agents armed with automatic weapons dragged Roger Stone from his home at dawn. Talk about state TV. For the last 2 days, the hyenas on CNN have been driven to hysteria by the thought that the Justice Department might reduce Roger Stone's sentence even by a day.
It is clearly utterly offensive to the rule of law. This is what sets this country apart. This is what a banana republic does. This is what a dictator does. It is outrageous. I hope people are infuriated by this.
The reason they're doing it is slimy, sleazy, dirty.
Roger Stone is somebody I hold in minimum high esteem. So I was not unhappy to see him get 7 to 9. But I
You didn't think that was too aggressive?
Brooke, I thought it was aggressive.
Wait a second. Was that really John Dean telling you how happy he is that Roger Stone will die in jail? So CNN's moral arbiter on questions of law and order is literally a convicted felon? It's enough to make your head spin. But at least it's now clear what's actually going on. This is a pure political hit. Roger Stone is facing prison because he is a high-profile Donald Trump supporter. It's that simple. You want proof? Here it is. John Brennan and James Clapper will sleep at home tonight. Both have been caught lying under oath on camera about matters of national importance. And yet neither's in jail. Neither's been indicted. Neither ever will be. The Stone case, by contrast, was transparently political from day one. The lead prosecutor, Andrew Weissman, is now literally an MSNBC contributor. The judge in the case, Amy Berman Jackson, is an out-of-control Democratic partisan who purely out of spite stripped Roger Stone of his First Amendment rights and prevented him from making a living, coming on this show, for example, speaking at all in public. Now, Stone and his wife, who is 71 years old and deaf, have lost their home because of this. They have no insurance. They're utterly broke. The whole thing is shocking, and it's disgusting. It's a farce that discredits the entire American justice system. The president seems to understand that. Cannot allow this miscarriage of justice, he tweeted recently. He's right on a couple of levels. What's happening to Roger Stone is totally wrong. It's immoral, and we should not allow it in this country. But politically, it has significance, too. Stone's prosecution was designed in part to confirm the fantasies that Democrats have constructed to explain the outcome of the 2016 election. His conviction helps their case. In other words, if the Russia collusion story was a hoax, and of course it most certainly was a hoax, then why is Roger Stone going to prison for his role in it? If Roger Stone serves even a single day behind bars, the Russia lie will be validated as true. Stone's imprisonment will be prima facie evidence in the view of Democrats. So at this point, there's really only one solution. The president must pardon Roger Stone or commute his sentence before he goes to jail. Democrats will howl if he does that. Well, they're howling anyway. They howl every day. Chuck Schumer is now yelping about yet another investigation into Roger Stone. Russiagate 2.